Hiya.
Hello.
Welcome to Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Thursday the 30th of April, 2020. We made it through April, Dammy. And this is episode 394. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers and a big hiya to any new viewers, thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. I did a Stitch With Me earlier this week. And I'm going to, if you haven't watched that, I'm going to try to start doing those once a week. And I explained more about my reasoning in that video. But in case you didn't see it, if you're used to just checking on Fridays for new episodes, I did post that. It was somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes long. So if you need something extra to watch, you should check that out. Well, we have a few things to talk about today. We both made some progress on stuff, and we have a couple yummies, so we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on her needles.
We're laughing because Pink Pearl is sitting on the ottoman right here next to the tripod. I took a picture that I'm going to post on Instagram after we get done recording. But Dammy has laid her cross-stitch pattern up against Pink, and Pink is sniffing it and rubbing her face on it and licking it. You know, as cats do. So, okay, well, here is what I am working on. This is birthday socks for my bestie's husband, Jeremy. I'm using my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that you can find on Ravelry. On US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and I'm using 9 different colorways. So if you want to know what they are, go check out my Ravelry page. So this is color 8 of 9 that I'm working on right now. I just started. I've just done a couple rows. I know my nails. I need to do my nails, but I didn't. Jeremy has very large feet, so I think I still have like at least 3 inches to go before I can do the heel. So, yeah. So, this stitch marker, I believe, is from Tilting Planet. It was a gift. This Ginger Kitty is from Ann Tudor, who makes these lovely stitch markers. And project is in Nerdbird Makery project bag, just in case you wanted to know. So, yeah. So I'm just trying to do 10 rows of a color on each sock every day. I have these on my 9-inch circulars, my Zoom needles, because you zoom around in circles. I don't know what else to say about them. They're socks. I am weaving in my ends as I go, like you can see that kind of right here. So I just bring the yarn up and stitch one, and then down and stitch one, so it weaves it in. And that way I don't have a zillion ends to weave in at the end of this project. So that is the only thing I'm working on, knitting wise. So I think we should move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
Here is my weekly preemie hat. This is number 17 for the year. This is my top-down preemie hat pattern that you can get for free on Ravelry. It's on US 6s, 4 mil needles, and the yarn, the stripe and the pom-pom and the bottom down here is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted in the Semolina colorway, and the variegated is Patton's UK Fab DK variegated in the raspberry colorway, and it's still not raspberry, it's more like Superman, but you will be pleased to know that I used the final bit of it. So you will not have to hear me rant about this is not raspberry colorway again, because it's all gone.
Okay.
I have none left. It's the final.
It's been a couple of years coming.
It's been a while coming, because I had like a full skein of this, I think, that I used in random different preemie hats. So it is the last of It's Not Raspberry. Never again will you hear me say this is not raspberry, because I'm done. So, yeah, that's my preemie hat for this week, and I think we're ready to move on to the next segment. And now it's time for FlossTube. All right, Dammy, show us what you've been working on.
I'm still working on Rapunzel by Unique Door Sign on Etsy. I had to take out all of one color because I got them confused.
They're very close. Are they close in number?
No.
Oh, okay.
I just read my pattern wrong.
Okay. So you ripped out those stitches.
And now I'm redoing them.
Okay, so how much do you have left on this?
Skin, dress, flowers, leg, flower.
Okay.
That's it.
You're making good progress on it.
I need to redo this black down here, and I forgot a line of yellow. But that's
Okay. All right, well, you're making very good progress on it.
That's it.
Okay. All right, well, then let me show you what I have been working on this week. So first up in my Stitch Toolbox Outlander to Bed or to Sleep project bag, I have Delivering the Coffee Beans by Homespun Elegance. But I modified the pattern to make the border go the whole way around. And I am stitching this on Zweigart 28 count Annabelle in the called for colors. And here is where I'm at. So I have a little bit more here on the top of where it says beans. This is the wagon.
Yes.
A little bit more there before I start the coffee cup. And then I have the coffee cup and the steam. And then I have the coffee sign here. And there's a butterfly up here. And then there's some back stitching, just a little bit. And this week I was like, because for the wagon, they just have you using buttons, a couple of buttons. And I was like, I'm going to be really creative. And so I ordered faux coffee beans to be the wheels.
That wagon's not gonna roll very well.
It doesn't matter. It's not meant to.
I have not made that joke before.
And neither has the Dr. Hubs. So I am making really good progress on that. Oops. Sorry, it got all folded over in here. I still don't know finishing wise what I'm going to do on that, but we will figure it out. This bag is from the, I can't remember the number, 805. Oh, wait. Yes, the 805 Stitcher. Right there.
The 1-800-588-2300 Empire Stitcher.
No, the 805 Stitcher. These cute kitties in clothes. This is my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. Where is the picture? Oh no, where is it? Oh, there it is.
I can't read it.
So there we go. So I'm about to show you. I have completed to right here. So I have from
3/4?
No, I have from wrapping presents down.
It looks kind of like 3/4.
No, so I have finished 2 full pages, and I have 1.5 pages left. So,
but like lengthwise, because there's overlap on the charts.
Yes, but not much. There's just like 5 rows of overlap.
Okay.
So I'm not quite to 2/3 yet. Hold on, you'll be able to tell when I hold it up. And I am using the called for DMC colors on this. And this is a 28 count fabric, and I can't remember what it is. I'm pretty sure it's from
Beautiful.
Joann's. So there we go. So this week I did peppermint stick and those 2 snowflakes and then the actual peppermint sticks, which y'all know I love pink, but I found it very weird that there was pink stripes in the candy canes.
They come pre-licked.
So this right here is the halfway point of the fabric. This fold. So I'm not quite to 2/3. Let's see. Let's approximate. So I need to do about that much more, and I'll be at like 2/3 of the fabric. So, yeah. So I'm continuing to work on that. So I probably will not work on this week. If I do a section like every other week, I will have it done in plenty of time. Next up is wrapping presents, but this is a really big section because it goes the full width of the fabric. So there's all these presents and then the text.
Wrapping presents is a big word.
So, so that one is quite large. Okay, and then the final thing I'm working on is my full coverage piece, which is in a Winnie the Pooh. This is actually a like sweater size knitting bag from Knit Run Dig. But it fits my Q-snap, so I'm using it. Okay, where's the picture? Here we go. So here we go. Edinburgh Castle by Terra Luna Stitchery. And I'm going to put up on the screen right now where I was last week. So when I showed it to y'all last week, I was at 1,600 stitches. And now I am at 3,000 stitches. So I am almost done with the 4th column on page 1. And this is, I actually put it in the show notes now so that I can remember to update it every week. So this project total has 265,824 stitches.
Nice.
So I am 1.129% complete.
Yay!
I broke 1. So there is that. But I want to show you, because I promised I would show y'all last week, and I remember to bring it over this time. Oops. So I told you I got a Kindle Fire that I then installed the Google Play Store on so that I could get this program, Pattern Keeper. Let me see if I can turn up the brightness a little bit to see if that will help. I'll be able to see it better. There we go. Oh, no, that blows it out.
Hold it close. There you go.
Okay, so this is the pattern. I'm not gonna show you all the whole pattern, but so this over here. Come on. Okay, this over here is like a list of all the flosses and the number of stitches I have left to stitch in those flosses. It doesn't have the white in here though. So. Like this is finished. This is the blue, some of the blue that I just showed you that is finished. And this is the symbol for the blue. So tonight when I work on it, I do 2 10 by 10 squares. So I will do this blue, but then these boxes are all white, but you can't mark them off. So the pattern designer didn't put a symbol in there for the white. And so this number over here, because it has over here like how many stitches you've stitched today and X out of the total number of stitches and the percentage, I'm having to manually figure that because I can't, this doesn't include all these white stitches. So, let me turn the brightness down now. So,
Do you like it?
I do like it, and it's really cool that the stitches, when you mark them off, it marks them off the color. So that is the color that I have been stitching.
Mm.
So you'll be able to like see it. And then if I like zoom out. Am I zoomed out as far as I can go? Like right there, up there, that's what I've been working on. So I still have a little bit to go to finish page 1 of 60 zillion. I think there's like 62 pages in this.
I think you broke it.
I didn't break it. You just have to like zoom. See, like, do you see all the symbols? So, okay, so like there you can see, and technically it's like all the way down here. I have finished all the way to this black line and there. So I have, I think 2 more columns to go on this page, or 3 maybe. 3 more columns to go, and I haven't stitched on it today, but when I stitch on it tomorrow, I will get to start a new color.
Wow.
It's probably a blue, I'm guessing. But so yeah, so that's Pattern Keeper. It has a 1 month free trial, and then you have to pay for it, but I think it's only like maybe $10 for it, and then that's it, you own it. So yeah, so that is Pattern Keeper. It's currently only available for Android, which is why I bought a Kindle Fire for it, because you can't install it on iOS. They are working on an iOS version, but there's no projected timeline of when that's going to be done. So, okay, and I'm continuing with Semi-Sane Stitchers, which is a challenge group on Facebook. The ones that I'm doing continuously are the background certificates and mapping your literary journey. But I finished playing Stitch or No Stitch and ended up, there was 3 cases left. One of those was the case that I had picked. And then there was 2 other cases. 2 of the cases had stitches in them, and one of them had the max number of grand prize entries available in the game. Mm-hmm. And I didn't chance it. So I took the deal that they offered me, which was 10 grand prize entries. Knowing that they then showed me like what was in the other cases. So the case that I would have picked next would have still been stitches, which would have left the big grand prize and 1 stitch case. But it's a good thing I didn't go that far, because in my case was stitches. Mm. So, yeah. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to be playing Semi-Sane Stitchopoly.
Oh dear.
And so it's like...
Do not pass go, do not collect 200 stitches.
It is like, look, I put pink on my board.
It's a baby!
So, and I put but first coffee on there. So as you go around the board, there's stitches, but when you, and you have to do those stitches before you roll again, but when you land on all, 2 or 3, or how many are in a set, you get to stitch a certain number less on that one. And, if you land on the needing to pull cards, they do that. And I'm trying to think what else. Because apparently they've done this before, but I've never played. So, yeah. So when you land on the piece that gives you an entire set, you deduct 100 stitches from the last property of that set. You collect an entry every time you pass go. Mm-hmm. Community chest and chance have been changed to stash chest and lily pad, and you may have things to do regarding stitches, or you may earn actual entries. And you have 48 hours from the time you roll to do those stitches.
Ooh. Scary.
And if you roll doubles 3 times in a row, you get put in the stash diet square, which is jail. You have to, you can get released by rolling a double. You have 3 chances, or by paying with 300 stitches. Yeah. So that is the game. So I'm going to be participating in that one, for May. So that should be fun.
Oh, it's May.
But I mean, I'm doing 200 stitches on Edinburgh Castle, which is the equivalent of 100 stitches for Semi-Sane Stitchers, because I'm doing 10th stitch, so I'm only doing 1 leg. Mm-hmm. And then I've been getting, depending on how much time I have to work on another project after that, I've been getting a couple 100 stitches in on every night. Mm-hmm. So I should be able to do it with no problem. So, okay. That is everything for FlossTube, but we do have cross-stitch content in Yummies. So let's move on to the next segment, and y'all stick around so that you can see what we have to show you. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. So first up, let me just take these off the card so I can show the card. I ordered a couple of needle minders from the Top Knot Stitcher shop. She has her own website now, topknotstitcher.com, but she still has a few things over in her Etsy store, and that's where I got these. But I've linked to her shop in the show notes. And I ordered, so I could not find an Edinburgh Castle needle minder. No. But this is Hogwarts Castle, and Hogwarts is in Scotland, so I felt like it counted. So I ordered this Hogwarts Castle needle minder. It's, I don't know, what is this, kind of...
Acrylic?
Yeah, well, kind of.
It's
like a hard plastic type stuff. So I got that one for me, and while I was in her shop, she had this one on sale, and so I got it for Tammy. And it's, I can't think of the character's name. BB-8 from Star Wars. Mm-hmm. Are you going to put it on your project right now?
No.
Oh,
I'm just playing with the magnet.
So, this one is going to be going on my Edinburgh Castle piece. So, and Abby had really fast shipping, and Abby has a really cute cat named Jam that I send you pictures of.
Oh, yes.
When Abby posts them on Instagram, sometimes I'll send them to Dammy. So, so those came. And then I got my March and April fabric of the month from Fortnite Fabrics. So I'm ordering this stuff with a friend from Stitching Group, so that we could save on shipping. So the March one has been here for a while, but we went into lockdown. So, I had something for her, and so Dammy put it on we have like one of those clip things on this door jamb of our door where the apartment can put like notices and stuff. So Dammy clipped the pattern there that I had for her, and she clipped the fabric for me when she dropped it off. So I can't remember which one of these is March and which one.
I would assume the green is March.
I don't know. They're inspired by mushrooms. So I don't remember which is March and which is April, but it doesn't matter. So this one they're both 28 count even weave. This one is the colorway Stinkhorn. It's got more yellow green to it than you're seeing. That doesn't help. So there's that one. And then the other one is, I don't know how to say that. Bianchetto. And it is, that's very true. Ooh, it smells good. That is gorgeous. It looks like leaves and flowers on it. And like dandelions, like right there. Oh, it's so pretty. So, I don't know what I'm going to stitch on these yet, but they will get stitched on. So, those are from Fortnite Fabrics, and they have a Facebook group where they sell their fabric. So, okay. Do we have any other yummies?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So, let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like. But we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. So, when y'all see this, it will be time to start the May prompts list, which is emotions, shapes, and other stuff.
Mm.
So, Dammy, what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. Great job, everybody. Yay. So it's never too late to join in. You take a look at the prompt for the day. Today when we're recording, it's still numbers, so it is 30. You interpret that however you wish. We're very cheater friendly. Post it on Instagram. Make sure in the caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad because that's how we find your photos. And yours might get chosen. If you have a private account on Instagram and you're participating in GGK Crafty Pad, you need to make sure that Dammy's Doodles is following you. Send her a message because otherwise we can't see your photos. So, okay. And upcoming events, this is still scheduled as of today. We don't know what's going to happen. Our governor has said that he is going to extend our stay-at-home order. They're supposed to announce that tomorrow because it was scheduled to end at 11:59 Monday night. So we don't know what's going to happen. But at this point, I'm still planning to be at Grazing Hills Fiberfest in Viola, Idaho, Saturday and Sunday, the 11th and 12th of July. Their website is ghfiberfest.com, and I'll be teaching a continental knitting class on Saturday the 11th from 10 to noon. So, if that changes, we will let you know. All right, I think we are ready to move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading, watching, and listening to.
So what are you reading, Dammy?
I'm kind of reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I told my friends I'd finish it, and I haven't.
Are they being understanding, though, that you're having a lot of reading for school?
Yeah. We're just supposed to read another book after this.
What are you supposed to read next?
Little Women, which is
even... And didn't you start it and then stop?
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all may have to wait till the summer to pick back up your book club. Okay.
So I'm reading stuff for school, one of which is a book by Richard B. Lee called Adobe Joatsi. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's for my cultural anthropology class. And I'm also reading The Glass Scientists, which is a webcomic by Sabrina Katungo.
Okay. I assume with all that reading, I mean, because you're having to read a lot of the Bible for one of your classes, I assume with all of that stuff you're getting 15 minutes a day in.
Yeah.
Yes. What am I referring to?
The April, May, June read-along.
Wow. So this is a challenge for you to read 15 minutes a day every day. I don't care what you're reading as long as you're reading. Audiobooks do count. There is there's a seasonal alongs that earn you entries into our year-long challenge.
She didn't want me to pet her. I touched her and she went,
"Leave me alone, damn it. I want to go to sleep. Leave me alone." Yeah, so all the details are in the Ravelry group and on the show notes. There's a finish line thread in the Ravelry group where you post once and then edit that post with your daily reading. So, okay. What I am reading. I am still continuing to read Fibershed, Growing a Movement of Farmers, Fashion Activists, and Makers for a New Textile Economy by Rebecca Burgess. And really, it's very, very informative. Lots of really good information in it about how our clothing is made and chemicals and treatment of employees and fast fashion and I'm not even, I think I'm only about like 20% into the book. I mean, so there's a lot of really good information. So I am reading that for my job, but also just reading it because I'm enjoying it. I read The Poisoner's Handbook, Murder and the Birth of Forensic Medicine in Jazz Age New York by Deborah Bloom. So one of our podcast viewers suggested this book to me and I cannot remember who it was.
You need to start writing this down.
I know, sorry, brain. It was really interesting.
Interesting.
I enjoyed the parts of it that were like talking about like cases and the reasoning and the way that they figured out like how to detect this chemical in or poison or whatever in body. The stuff that was the more like, okay, let's talk about the scientific breakdown of this. That was not. I didn't really ever enjoy science in school to begin with, so that wasn't as enjoyable. But it was really interesting to like to kind of watch that process and like the way that medical examiners and forensic examiners and all that changed over a period of time.
My stitches are a little off, so I'm deciding if I like it. I don't.
Oh. Where are they off?
In her head.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I finished reading that. I am continuing to reread the 5th book in the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, The Order of the Phoenix, along with the Harry Potter and the Sacred Text podcast and Swish and Flick and All Potter podcast. This week's chapter is Detention with Dolores. And Swish and Flick broke it up into 2 episodes, so I've listened to the first one, and then the second one should come out this weekend. Dolores Umbridge, she's just evil. We had a whole discussion about Dolores Umbridge the other day and how evil she is. So, I'm reading that. I'm continuing to read the Detective D.D. Warren series by Lisa Gardner. I finished books 4 and 5. This is about a female detective. I'm reading the Max Revere series by Allison Brennan. I finished book 2 and I'm reading book 3. And this is about a female investigative journalist. And like the reason she became an investigative journalist is because a high school friend was murdered and then a college friend was murdered. And so she was like, you know, this was something that was directly impacting her. And so doing that. And then I read book 2 and I believe I don't know that there's going to be a 3rd book. The 2nd book just came out. So I don't know if it's planned to be a 3rd book. There's a plan to be a 3rd book or not. But I read book 2 of the Final 6 series by Alexandra Monir. And it was really, really good. This is that series that I told you about that was about the Earth was falling apart and they sent like all these teenagers to like a space camp in Houston and then sent 6 of them into space to go to this moon to try to build a new planet for the world.
Yeah, teenagers are a great choice to do that.
They were all like 17, 18, 19, but the reason they did it
that still doesn't change my statement.
Well, the reason that they did it, I mean, and it goes into all this in the book, but the reason that they did it is because their bodies were going to be able to adjust to some of the differences in the atmosphere and such at the new planet versus Earth, whereas an adult would have a harder time, their body would have a harder time adjusting. Mm-hmm. So there's that. Watching. Dammy did not watch it with me. I watched Love Never Dies, which is the sequel to The Phantom of the Opera, which was the movie that Andrew Lloyd Webber put out for 48 hours over the weekend. Mm-hmm. Strange, to say the least. And, okay, here's spoiler, so if you don't want to know, well, you've already seen a spoiler warning. She gets shot in the end, but there's no evidence of that. There's, like, no bullet hole, there's no blood.
They need to protect that dress.
I was like, this is bizarre. And this weekend, it's not a one show. It's like, it's a bunch of different, like, performances at,
I don't mind not watching it.
I can't remember the details. No, I'm not subscribed to it. The show must go on channel. The Royal Albert Hall Celebration. It's a celebratory tribute to the musical compositions of Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber. So that is what the one this weekend is. And then I watched a Hallmark Movies and Mysteries movie, Matchmaker Mysteries, A Fatal Romance.
Oh dear.
I finished watching series 20 and 21, and I'm watching series 22 of Silent Witness, which is a British criminal procedural show that is kind of like CSI, but it's they are
Forensic pathologist.
I was switching the words. I was like pathologist. Wait for no. There's got a word that goes before that. Forensic pathologist. So I only have the rest of this series and one more series, and then I'll be caught up. But they are planning.
You watched it too fast.
They're planning to do more. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Do you want to talk about the next couple things?
Sure. We are rewatching Frasier. So we finished season 4. Now we're in season 5.
Dammy said that I got really stiff. I was just trying to tell her that we were having issues with videos if they're longer than 10 minutes, like not wanting to airdrop over to the computer to process. So we're trying to pay attention to that and stop at 10 minutes, but sometimes we forget. But I caught it, and I was trying to tell her that. And sorry. There we go. Yes, Frasier.
We are rewatching Frasier. We finished season 4, and now we're in season 5.
Yes. I can't remember how many seasons there are. A lot.
I don't know.
We had the 100th episode.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if that was this week or not.
Cabin Fever. I am valid according to John Finnemore.
Davey got a shout out. Not
We're
a shout out.
Figuring out it was either a tuba or a euphonium or sousaphone.
Yeah, there was a 20 questions thing, and Dammy was one of the ones that figured it out. And she was asleep, and I was like, damn it. Because I watched it when it popped up, and I was like, oh my gosh, and, the Dr. Hubbs was in here. I was like, did you hear that? He just said Dammy's name.
And he said it right.
He did say it right, so. And there was a new episode today.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
With Arthnold Manakatsman.
Yeah. I didn't participate in the bracket thing, so. Okay. Watching season 6 of The Flash. And they've said that it's going to end at a different cliffhanger than they intended it to because of the pandemic. They didn't get to finish filming.
Oh, okay.
We're watching season 3 of The Masked Singer. We need to watch last night's tonight.
We need to.
Yes. I'm not going to watch that after the thing, though, again.
Yeah. Nick Cannon looked like he was being held hostage in that green screen room. I was very afraid for him.
Watching season 7 of The Blacklist. Watched the season 11 finale of NCIS LA. Watching season 1 of Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. Oh, it was heart-wrenching. They were having to figure out about what to do when her dad dies. But Bernadette Peters was in it, singing.
Bernie.
Who else? There was somebody else in it that I was going to tell you, and then I forgot to tell you. And, let's see. Let me find it right quick. See if they've got it in there on the episode, because sometimes it takes a little bit for that to happen.
Bernie.
Well, I told you that Renee Elise Goldsberry was in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember who it was, and I don't see them in here. Because they don't even have Bernadette Peters listed.
Let me Google while you keep talking.
Yeah, but anyway, it was this show is like, it's so powerful. I was trying to see.
Mama, I'm looking. You can keep talking.
Okay. It's a musical, but it's very emotional too. So,
I'm still looking.
I don't know. I can't remember who it was that I was going to tell her. Okay. Watched the season 7 finale of When Calls the Heart, and there's just been this like lovers triangle going on, and then at the very end, what's her name?
Elizabeth?
Yes, Elizabeth thought that Nathan had died, and I think and then he hadn't, and it ended with her like running and hugging him, and Lucas sees it, and so I'm assuming that means that she's choosing him. So, Outlander season 5, we got the end of the Stephen Bonnet storyline, which they moved from book 6 into season 5 to tie up that storyline. But it was very difficult to watch parts of it and to see Brianna's emotions and how she was trying to deal with what happened. So, watched the season 1 finale of Prodigal Son. That ending with his sister killing the bad guy. Craziness. And watching season 16 of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Are you finding anybody?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, I don't remember either. So, okay, listening to My Favorite Murder podcast. This week's was a recording of a 2018 live show. And there was the murder they talked about was of a young girl, but then at the end they were talking about like all the things that have changed and all the positive things that have happened.
I was awing my cat
because of
this.
because of her death, and so that was really interesting. And then the other one they talked about was A Great Fire.
Great fire.
Yes. And I'm also listening to my CC's Faves playlist on Spotify. What are you listening to?
Cabin Pressure, random Spotify playlists. My playlist is still in the show notes.
Songs of Resilience. Yes. All right. Well, I think that is everything for what we were reading, watching, and listening to. So let's move on to the next segment.
And now we're going to talk about our March, April, May Sheepy Spring Owl.
Bah.
Meow.
Pink is here to help. Okay. I don't think she's going to last very long helping.
So this started on the 1st of March and it runs through the 31st of May, and it is for any project that you knit, crochet, weave, spin, stitch, or sew, that you could convince us is related to spring. Your fallback is you made it in the spring. There are a couple main rules. The first is that no whips are allowed. Your project must have been begun no earlier than March 1st. It must be finished no later than May 31st.
She wants down, I believe.
The main rule is that, how do I say it? Each project that you knit, crochet, weave, or spin must be at least 20 yards. If your project is not at least 20 yards, you need to group it in a single post together with other projects that total at least 20 yards. For stitching and sewing projects, we leave it up to your best judgment. You can feel free to poly dip in other longs as long as it fits with the rules. That's totally fine. Prices, we're going to talk about them because this is the first podcast of the month.
Technically, it's not the first podcast of the month.
Yes, it is.
It will go live on the 1st of the month.
So it is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. So
I'll start. So we've got a honeybee project bag and stitch marker made and donated by Teresa of Jassy Creations on Etsy.
We have 3 skeins of Lion Brand Magic Stripes in the Jelly Bean colorway. 3 winners will each win 1 skein.
We've got a print of She's Got Help by artist Karen Hallian.
We have a Plymouth Owl shawl pin from donated by Eileen, who is leaner on Ravelry.
We've got a leaf stitch marker set from Pandia's Jewels.
We have a skein of CJ Kopek Creations Integrity yarn in the Purple Passion colorway. Also donated by Eileen, who's leaner.
And we've got a skein of One Twisted Trees BFL Prime in very Mardi Gras colors, which was donated by Mary Beth 1199.
Thank you so much to all of our prize donors. We appreciate you very much. If somebody would like to donate a prize,
you can PM a Java Pearl on Ravelry or email us at geekygirlsknit@gmail.com.
and if you go to our show notes, you can see bigger pictures of the of the prizes.
Or you can tune into the first podcast of every month, like this one.
Yeah.
So you must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit and Cross Stitch podcast / FlossTube group on Ravelry in order to participate. There's a hashtag if you'd like to post on social media or tag your projects. It is GGKCS Spring 20.
Yes.
The FO thread will be locked on the morning of the 1st of June, and winners will be drawn for the next podcast after that. And any winners will have 30 days to claim their prize or they forfeit it. There's a chatter thread on Ravelry, where you chatter and where I congratulate people who finish projects. But I also do that here. So, A. Bingham, Bolshevik Muppet, Crafty Textile Lady, D-Dorf4, DG White, Elsa and M, I Now Hour, I Knit Socks 2, Jennifer Reels, Knit Girl Wagner, Knit Live Love, Knitter Chow, Lil Angel SG2, Mystery Sewer, Nicole S, Try Linda, and Yell Cat 2.
Great job, everybody. Keep working on those projects. You have 1 month to get them completed, and then you might be a prize winner. Okay, let's move on to our next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we try to answer them.
Yes, so what is this week's question, Naomi?
So this week's question was originally asked and answered in 2014. It is from Sandy, who is SJH801 from Pennsylvania. Other than personal preference, when knitting socks, are some ways better / easier than others? DPN's Magic Loop, 2 circulars.
So, what is your preference when you knit socks?
I've only ever done Magic Loop.
Yeah.
So I could not speak to DPNs. DPNs seem fidgety to me because there are so many of them. And 2 circulars just seems like 1 circular too many.
Okay, well, so to me, the easiest for a new sock knitter would be Magic Loop. Because you're working with 1 needle only. Some people find that they have problems with laddering, so when they're knitting and then they switch to the other needle, that there's a...
She's spinning!
Pink just stepped into my desk chair, which is at the computer waiting for me to...
And now she's spinning the other way.
to edit the podcast. Laddering is where you get, it doesn't like... It leaves like a line of holes. Not really holes, but it just like where it's not...
It looks like a ladder.
It looks like a ladder. It's not stitched as tight because you've changed the needle. So some people use 2 circulars to try to avoid that. For some people that's easier. DPNs are very fiddly for me. And I always worry about dropping a needle. And also like putting them into a project bag because you have all those ends. I mean, I know there's things you can use, but I am not a DPN fan. I don't even own any DPNs. And as y'all know, for me, I prefer the 9-inch circulars. So I do Magic Loop for the toe just because there's not enough stitches to knit around yet until you finish the toe. And then I switch over to these and I do the heel and I do the cuff on these as well. Some complaints that I've heard for 9-inch circulars are that it's hard to hold them because the needles are only that long. They're very short, probably like 2 inches?
Sure.
If that. So you have to really adjust your technique. And I can knit continental, which is like picking, where you hold the yarn in your left hand with these, but it really hurts my wrist. So I do, this is the only time that I throw, is an English style, is when I'm knitting on the 9-inch circulars. I like these for me because I'm not having to fiddle with the needles. You know, like when you're magic looping, you have to, you get to the end of the needle and then you have to, pull the other one around to do. So this just allows me to be really mindless about my knitting. But I would say if you are a new sock knitter, I would suggest Magic Loop. And like my basic sock pattern, my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern that has toe up and cuff down instructions in it is written for Magic Loop. All of our sock patterns are written for Magic Loop. You could easily convert them to DPNs or to knitting like on a 9-inch circular, or it would be the same instructions for 2 circulars. You're just, needle 1, needle 2. Yeah, but I think Magic Loop would be the easiest. But I would suggest, once you're comfortable with the process of knitting socks, giving the 9-inch circulars a try to see if it's a style that works for you. With 2 circulars, I've heard some people will use a different either brand or color cable on one of the needles so that they can easily see, okay, well, I just finished knitting on this needle with the red cord, so I need to knit with the needle with the blue cord next, just to kind of as a brain trick. So yeah. I do all of my socks on these now unless I'm knitting socks that aren't a big enough circumference. So if I'm knitting like for babies or toddlers, and then those I'll do Magic Loop. But I've even done cables, lace, texture on the 9-inch circulars with no problem. And my preferred brand is the Haya Sharps. So they have this kind of teal turquoisey colored cable. And I own several sets of them in case I want to do multiple at a time. Multiple pairs of socks or knit 2 socks concurrently. So some people do enjoy doing 2 at a time, which to do that you would need to either do Magic Loop or 2 circulars. I don't enjoy the fiddliness of having to mess with the second ball of yarn to keep them from getting tangled. I can do that, but I don't enjoy it. Have I missed anything about knitting socks?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. So I hope that that's helpful. And Sandy, thank you for the great question. It's still as relevant 6 years later as it was when you posted it. But since we're answering older questions, that means we've run out of questions. So, Dammy, what should somebody do if they have a question for us about anything? Because we're very open to. We've not had one question that we haven't been willing to answer. So.
Go to our Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it. Or post in the YouTube comments below, and we will move the question to our Ravelry thread.
Yes. All right. Well, I think that is everything. So let's move on to the next segment. Well, with that, we've come to the end of the show. Yay! We did it. A reminder that Trish at Threads Entwined is offering a 15% off coupon code for her shop until the end of May 2020. That coupon code is lowercase geeky15, GEEKY15. And her shop, the link to her shop is in our show notes. Thank you to Trish for that. Do we have any other announcements?
No.
Watch for a new Stitch With Me early next week and a normal episode next Friday. We're on a good recording schedule now, and so like we said, the governor is it's been reported that he's going to extend the stay-at-home order. So and Dammy's home through the hopeful start of school in the autumn, in person. They're waiting to see. Do you see what she's doing? She's trying to get the bags that my fabric was in.
Plastic.
Hey, that's not for you.
Are you sure? Because it looks like it's for me. Looks like I can put my teeth in it.
Oh, no. She... So she really, really likes to sit on this one right here, on this couch cushion at the top there. And Russ is like, she's like dipping it in. She's making it have a curve. So
she's a little heavy.
So he put pillows all around here where she can't sit now. Well, I'm going to move them when I sit down so she can sit with me. Where are you gonna go? Did Papa put pillows? Oh no. So sad. Okay, they can't see her now. All they could see was her butt.
That's a very important part of her.
I hope you didn't get seasick through that. If I need to cut some out, I will to make it not seasick, not bumpy. I don't even remember what we were talking about. Staying home. We're staying at home. Yeah. So, okay. Well, we'd like to say a humongous thank you. We love you guys. To everybody who supports the podcast, no matter how it is that you support us, just even watching is supporting us. So, we are very grateful for each of you, but a big thank you to everyone who supports the podcast financially, because it does unfortunately cost money to do a podcast. There's 3 main ways you can do that if you'd like to help. The main one is Patreon, which is a site where you pledge a certain amount a month to your favorite creatives, and you earn rewards based on the level you donate at. Yeah, so I'll be doing rewards. I usually do them like on the 6th of the month, so I'll be doing those sometime next week. Dr. Hub's birthday's next week.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Next Friday.
Okay.
Well, I have socks for him that I made. It's sneaking up on us. Yeah, so
if you're interested in supporting us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/geekygirlsknit.
Sorry, I got distracted because I realized his birthday's next week. What's another way, Dammy?
There's a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
And we are amazon.com.co.uk and .ca affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you go to our site first and look for your appropriate link in the sidebar or at the bottom of the show notes, do your shopping as normal, and we'll earn a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing anyway. So thank you again to everyone who supports us that way. Dammy, where can they find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I was making sure I hadn't gone over. Because like I said, I just started talking and then I lose track. Well, with that, we're going to say goodbye. We hope that you are staying healthy and safe during the midst of all of this. We hope that you're being able to use your creativity to help through these days of uncertainty. And we hope that you have a great weekend and a great next week ahead. And until next time, happy crafting. Talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Imagine my surprise when somebody came to visit me while I was brushing my teeth. Hello, Pinky. Did you come to help Mama? Pinky thinks that we are all very, very much in need of assistance whenever we're in the bathroom. She thinks that she belongs in here every single time, but she doesn't jump up on the counter very often. But she decided she needed to see me. Didn't you? Huh, baby? I love you.